Good evening, America. Pittsburgh, hello, Miami. Coming to you live from somewhere in an undisclosed location. Hey, this is 10 O'Clock Talks. I am Michael Anthony. Welcome in, everybody. I appreciate you for coming by. Like, share, follow, subscribe. Check out the YouTube and 10 O'Clock Talks at gmail.com. And never forget, never, ever, ever forget all those Trumpsters, small businesses out there who support us, and we must support them. Keep them strong. Keep them strong. Gates! This man's bugging, and it's true. He is bugging. He just released 150,000 modified mosquitoes. It's true. It's true. Modified how? Makes you ask, and more to come, to follow. Unreal. And the Delta variant. Yeah. And check this out. We know the narrative. Push for the kids. Push to get the kids. The Delta variant, it will only attack the young. No, really. I didn't freeze. No, really. It was on the news. It's true. Check this out also in news. It's breaking out more than one way, to be honest with you. Don't mind me smoking. Don't yell at me. It's been one of those days. Anyway, let me just try to get into your mind for a minute here on what's really going on in the world and a different aspect of it. In a way we weren't looking at it, but we knew it was happening. So it seems, and we knew, the push of the government would be hard. And what was all this money for? You know, what were they supporting? Who are they supporting? Why is all of our money going out of state? Why is our money going out of the country? Why is it being used on us in America? Because they want you to get this contaminant, this miracle. Yeah. I had to change my words. I got to call it the miracle. It doesn't work. It doesn't fit. But guess what? The money does. It fits in many people's pockets. $6,500 a week for pharmacists. And all these local drugstores who once we trusted and trusted our health too. And, you know, to give us information and knowledge and so forth. And this is $6,500 a week to go around the nursing homes and keep that up as well as coming into the stores and, yes, giving you the miracle, the jab, the hit, the Frankensteiner, and more. So calculate that up, because the young lady that I watched, it was shared to me, was like, this is a fact, and if it is, in all actuality true, and it seems like it could be very plausible, how many people are out there making this kind of money, number one, and number two, where are their morals of decency? Are they blind over the dollar versus life? It's a sad thing. And keep in mind, as I said, this variant, it's called the Delta. Yeah, well, we knew they created more than one, but really, I think it could be very well just be a pipe dream. You know, another narrative. Doesn't end. It doesn't end. But anyway, it's sad, and it's what we're living in. My apologies for last night. I kind of figured out why it does happen. I have, and I'm going to do it a different way. I hope you guys hang with me, follow, share the frick out of it, you know? Get it out to people. Get the word out. Some people don't want to read all day. They'll come on here and they'll listen to me rant for a half hour, an hour. and I hope you join in to do the same thing. Um, and any way you look at this, if you missed me live, you got me live here. I'm still here. All right, so with that said, and moving on just a little bit further, check this out. I got a story here by Camp David. And to me, this is huge. Right by Joe's camp retreat. Yeah, Joe Biden, Camp David, body found, dismantled female found. That's starting to make news. Very, very close. They don't say the proximity exactly, but we know it's very close to the Camp David location and entranceway. And young lady found in pieces. Horrific. Sad, sick, and horrific. And I don't know. You know, with everything we see, we hear, what we're learning, what we think we know, what we try to know, what we share. I don't know, pieces of the puzzle sort of fit their way, don't they? Let's go into this Juneteenth. I wanted to talk a little bit more on that, and I'm not totally against it. Yeah, I know there's some sense and some nonsense here, and that's exactly what it is. But in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, northern state, actually started this in 2019. It was nothing new to us here. We knew about it. But now, of course, Joe, with the swipe of the pen, it's going to be a paid holiday, vacation day, and all this. Okay, fine. That's all good. And while the media is reporting on this morning, I don't know, maybe this blew up in their freaking faces, and who really gives a shit if it did? Because they changed their narrative after they saw the video and started talking about it as they went into the repetitious morning segments. Because basically they do a segment and it goes into a couple repeats of the same thing, but they put a narrative in there of it didn't matter about anything of color. And I think why that was the interview of the person that was there, a couple people of color. They expressed that this was just not to be recognized as a representation to just their race, their culture. They actually, I think, blew the media away and stood tall and said, this is for all and everyone that was ever enslaved. So I was like, yeah, go ahead, rock stars, because they didn't expect that. They did not expect that at all, but it happened and they had to deal with it. But just so you know, here in the state of Pennsylvania, in Pittsburgh, it will be celebrated not just by a day, but through a period of time, June 19th through the 27th. And maybe it's just a one-time event thing, or it could be yearly this way, and somehow, of course, there's only going to be a one-day paid holiday. Let's keep that part straight. But this will help the less white and, shut up the white supremacy and critical race theories, possibly. Maybe this is just that hit for Pittsburgh here that will keep people within law and order and keep better perspective to anybody up here that's thinking the left of the BLM and the Antifa and any of the other mobsters, criminal act people. And because it said a lot when they said this stands for all slavery. And that there, I was like, finally said in the right context and terms. I can deal with this. Did it have to be a federal? No. I mean, if they wanted, they did it anyway. I can't stop it. But the bottom line is, I thought, well, this may actually help our narrative. And maybe it will get out there into the world. Maybe it will get shared in the upper media. Doubtful, but I'll look tomorrow just to see if any of the comments out of Pittsburgh on how that all went for them. Because in my mind, it blew up in their face. All right, in Portland, yes, Portland again. Their entire rapid response team resigned. Now, what the response team was a group of officers in the police, law enforcement, They would first respond to the highest for the highest, most difficult crime, so to speak, like the riots. That's kind of what it was devised for, in a way. So they were the first 50 frontline volunteer police employed, in Portland by the city of Portland, that would respond first and be, there to defend and enforce law. Until now. It seems that the state attorney general didn't care for actions taken by one trying to enforce the law. And basically, what had happened was they filed an indictment on the one officer. Didn't like the way he appropriately handled himself, even though it was a matter of issue that he needed to. So what happens? The whole 50 of the team resigned. They will no longer respond and be first responders to any of the major issues that could occur, that may occur, that probably, again, will occur. So they resigned from it, and they're, going to fight, I guess, for their fallen one that's now under indictment, one of their own. So, they're not going to be gone from the police academy and force and all the K-9, wherever they all came from. They were all from different jurisdictions of the law enforcement, of the police there in the city of Portland. But what was important about these 50 people was they were all asked to volunteer for this position of first response to issues of great magnitude. And then this happens to them, to one of their, their own, and they say, no. But they will go back to their normality jobs. They will still keep those. They will just no longer be a part of the front 50 who will defend that city. That's tearing down America, isn't it? And, you get what you ask for. Karma can kick you in the ass really hard, Portland. But that's how it works. Anyway, I'm Michael Anthony. This is 10 O'Clock Talks. I missed out yesterday. I got violated. I got totally violated. I got booted off. I don't know what happened. I'm not going to talk about it much. I apologize to you guys. I had more to say, more to talk about, and I thought, hey, you know what? I'm just going to do a more relaxed segment today. I'm going to just kick back here. I did some running today. I got outside. Had to do some thinking and do some writing, but that pertained to other things. So I just wanted to do this in a different manner. So it got out there. It gets out there. We're all in support of each other, and we can continue to do that. If I come to you in a different way, just look for me. I'm here. I'm around. And again, like, share, follow, subscribe, whether it's to YouTube, on Facebook here, or one of the other media platforms. Randy, you're a rock star. Thank you, James. You are as well. I know you guys are trying to do the best you can for me, and I appreciate that. Also, Beth, the Southwest PA Bikers, all the support from those guys. And they got some events coming up and some bike runs. Keep them in mind. Send them out support any way you can, because what they do is for the good of the people in the Pittsburgh and tri-state area. That's the Southwest PA Bikers. And Beth, one of the girls behind the glass that gives me a hand, helps me out, does a lot of the sharing. And I'm going to need you to start helping with that. I'm going to really need you to start helping with that, because it's getting difficult. It really is, for the people behind the glass who try to push out the shares, to build the audience, to keep it up, to keep some flavor in it. Now, we may have to change some of what we do as far as the lives. Everybody's suffering with this too. Wendy Bell's one of our big queens up here, who has great background, great credentials. She surpasses many of us, and me as well. But they do this to all of us in ways. They truly do. And no matter who tells me what and what does what, I've done some tests. I have found out when it does occur. I pointed it pretty much down. Anyway, that said, I'm going to just change what I'm doing a little bit. Bear with me, and we'll get through it all. I know we're all together in this. We're all for one, right? We are all for one. America. That's what's important. That's truly what's important. All right, let me see what else we got here. It seems that the DOJ, Okay? I should maybe go like the plate numbers when I go David Orbit James. I mean, maybe that would cut the feed on how they algorithms and all that stuff. You know how that goes. Anyway, but the DOJ and the Justice Department, you can call them what you want on that part, go after Arkansas and West Virginia to turn and try to support and what they call an unconstitutional matter of the transgender in sports, the intermixing of natural, who you are, what you are, transgenders versus non, you know, that issue problem. So now all of a sudden, these attorneys that your tax dollars are paying for are fighting us right back in our faces. They're going to fight these states who are trying to, and I'm sure Florida and Texas and many others are going to get named and be confronted with issues where they're going to try to do things as well with those guys. And you know what this fight back's all about, right? It's because we're coming down their throats really, really hard. And we know why. It has to do with the 3rd of a month and the 4th of a month where there was a big alleged issues that had, and they're not even alleged. We know that there are factual issues that have happened in the United States of America here. So of course, let's fight them back. Let's cause some havoc back. I want to talk to you about something else though. 1-7. Put that together. Okay? It's a letter, but I'll say it even a little different from where everybody else is at. 1-7. We know that he's called, or said he, she, person. Just not sure. Could be a male, could be a female. I just want you to keep that part in mind, because that could just blow your mind right out of the water. Is it really a man behind 1-7? Or is it a female behind 1-7? Anyway, we're in the days of what we call darkness now, where anything could happen. A lot of what has been said is in front of us, are happening. We have planes that have been done. We have military, and I can confirm this, and they are still here. If it was an exercise, why are you still here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania? I was heading in on 28 southbound yesterday, and I seen many military aerial units up in the sky. Don't know what they were doing by any means, but I do know the dates and times listed and posted for Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It was over. It was supposed to be over. It didn't seem to be over. So I guess they're still amongst us. Why is that a fact? I don't know. Are they just being more observant to cities? Let me know how your city's doing with that and what you know. Maybe you got something going on in your city right now, and we just need to talk about that part. So yeah, we have the military upon us. Are they exercises or is it other things? We got boats out in the harbors. We have Russia very close to Hawaii. Again, exercises. We have many cyber issues, cyber attacks, pipeline attacks. I'm just saying, we are having worldwide military movements. Or possibly are they exercises? Not to mention multi, as I brought up before, earthquakes, if that's what you want to believe they are. What's the purpose of that? The Earth's not going through anything major. We know that. We know science tells us that. The scientists come up and they speak on it. I follow them. No, it's something else. There's something else going on, and it's definitely underground. And they're being reported as earthquakes. They truly are. And the significance is how they function. The significance in these so-called earthquakes all have the same magnitude, strength. Strength would be the best word probably to use. I'm not a great scientist at that part, but that is the case. So when you have a case like that, it tells you, there's an interesting narrative to that case, right? Always the same type of pressure, always the same type of strength and vibration, doesn't change much, just fluctuates a little bit, always the same. Worldwide events everywhere. So, are we in this point of darkness? Are we at the 17 points of what the truth is? I thought I'd put that out there for you because of where we are, and it seems that the dates are upon us. What does it mean? What does it say? Not 100% sure. Not 100% sure. But I thought it'd be a good enough topic to bring up and just, hang out with you guys on it for that way. Good thing for coffee, right? I'm going to get myself into a little bit more activeness. The weather's been so crappy here in Pittsburgh and in my travels where I go back and forth from. I mean, nothing is good. You get sun for an hour, then it rains, and it's muggy and hot, or it just gets freaking cold. And June, I was up my camp the other day. I swear, it went down to 39 degrees. It was nuts. I was like, come on, this is June. We're going to be knocking on the door on 4th of July. And check this out. Truth of the matter is, everybody's having garden issues. Now, some people are thriving in different ways, but for the most part, when I go past all the farmlands, knee-high by 4th of July is the corn quote. Knee-high by 4th of July. Now, all you country people and corn growers know that comment. Man, we're talking stuff this big. It's just starting to come out of the ground. That's how difficult this climate control that we're going through up here, that they have enacted very heavily on Pennsylvania, the ill effects of what they're doing for the people growing crops. It's going to be devastating. And it's going to be hard for even just people who do normality gardens. I will say the only thing that is doing good in the garden are the tomato plants. They're not having too much of an issue with it. I'll be honest with you, at least in mine, and I do a pretty significant garden. So, when I ride by the farms and I just start to see the Perks greens coming up, man, that tells you how bad what they're doing here, at least in Pennsylvania. Now, could it be affecting a lot of the other parts of the world in the United States and some of the other states? There are colders around me, Ohio, West Virginia, Maryland, New York, where are we at for people who do this and make a living? That's sad. And it's happening. It really is happening. And they're not just doing that, they're buying crops up. I've talked about this at 3 times the amount just to see them be destroyed. Yes, that's where your tax dollars is fighting your own issue. We pay them. They're using our tax dollars against us. It's just incredible. It's incredible. All right, let me see. What else do I got? What else? Okay, this is pretty promising, to be honest with you. A herd of people went to the house in Michigan, up to all politicians and stuff up there. Yeah, so some of our neighbors are Trumpsters. 7,000 affidavits claiming election. FRAUD, okay? Now you know what that's about, but gotta love it. The domino effect and what's more to come. And there's a lot to come. I mean, there's videos now from down in Arizona coming on with some of the people who are in charge and of the issues that did happen, and can't get the information that we need to get into the systems and so forth, and they don't seem to care. But it's going to come out. It's going to be a little bit harder of an issue to narrate through, and it'll work out, and we will see it to our side. But again, we're still in a very hard fight and struggle for what's going on in America pertaining to the FRAUD. But it's there, and it's in every state you can imagine. Even the states where Trump won, I'm sure it was used. So if every state did do it, which more likely that was the occurrence of it. But they did isolate, bought, borrowed, and stole to get people on their side and this agenda to make sure that their narrative went through as it did. Yeah. 7,000 affidavits now coming forth. Michigan. So you got to love that. You do, really. In Illinois, special interests surrounds this Green New Deal, and more corruption lies in the politicians' hands with it. Now, what that means is basically, I write my notes, they're not always perfectly clear, but to give you a better description of, I guess, what I was trying to put across to everybody is the fact that the politicians have their hand in it. Wherever it makes money, they have investments. So, yeah, Illinois, special interests, signs alarms. I don't know where it's going to go. I don't know what all will come out from it at this point now. There's some reports to come, more investigative work, and basically people are going to probably drop some information. So check out everything for all the details. Look for the details. Illinois special interests over the Green New Deal. If it has to do with corruption, it's in politics, right? Yes, it is, more than ever. You must remember this thing of the governments and its corruptions. They hate when we stand up to them. This is our fight back. I've said this for days and days. It's when we stand in their face and let them know what we know. Yes, there's a lot fed through Facebook and all across the media. Yeah, they're paying people to do it. They're paying think tanks to come up with things. You're paying artists. You know, where do you think all this artwork and stuff comes from and whatnot? It's not. There are some people skilled who have programs that can do it. But we're talking about a very minute number to a very large case scenario number where people with good educational backgrounds have been bought at and they work for them. And, you know, they get told what to do and they do it. And here we see it, we use it, sometimes against ourselves. So just be careful on that part. A lot's out there, lots repeated. Stay strong. Don't let it get to you too much, man. Really, don't let it get to you too much. But you must remember, this is part of the corruption in the governments and Project Mockingbird and more. And we know about that as well, don't we? And we do. Now, check this out. And this made a lot of sense. This was a post of somebody's that I saw. I don't know. I usually like to write down a name and say they shared it. I didn't have the time to do it. And sometimes I just don't have the time. That's summer. But if it was icy cold winter right now, I'd have all the time in the world. My schedule's different in the summer, just like it should be. Got to get out and live too, you know, and exercise and all that stuff. And remember, stay healthy. Get off the sugars. Get off the fat foods. Get off the couch. That's what it's about, for real. You know, that's what it's about. But anyway, so you see these people, 150 to 250, $300 tennis shoes on. Stand there with a $5, $6 Starbucks coffee, $1,000 phone in her hand, gold chains around her neck. And they got on a t-shirt that says, "I'm oppressed." Really? I know people who work their damn asses off, and you don't look, they look oppressed. You don't. Oh, these people out there, they're dressing like rock stars. But the family man, the hardworking person, I don't agree with it. I just don't agree with it. But I thought it was a good point, and it should be brought up. You know? Yeah, it's not all what the picture seems. It never is. It never is. No one knows every person. No one knows every life. No one knows their bills, you know, and what's going on in it. But when you get somebody standing out, and they stand out, and, you know, you hear them loudly talking smack and all this other stuff, dressing with the game, as they put it, well, I'm sorry. I don't see, and you know, I can take it a step further. You want to talk about free housing? I'm not going to go there. Oppressed, huh? Right. Let me tell you, it's more difficult for the essentials. And the essentials got so fucked this past 15 months. They went out there daily like rock stars for us. They did. Hear this clear. These are the people who are deserving. These are the people that got burnt, ripped off. Truly. While many sat at home. Many still sitting at home. but the essentials who went there, did it, and still you can walk by them in the store, and I've seen them personally myself. They know who the regulars are in some of these stores. They do. Or they're just kids from the neighborhood that happen to work in these, and they see me and they're like, Michael, what's up? You know, and they always have this gracious smile on their face. They're just at work, happy to be at work. And it's sad to know that these essentials were so sad to see how they were looked over. Yeah, there was a little adjustment in pays made. But they don't equal out in any way not to sit at home with your feet up on the couch, eating fat snacks. No, the essentials are what got this country through this. And they got screwed. They got slapped right in the face. So always say hello to these people out there, man. You know, give them a smile, a nod of the head. That says a lot for who we are as America for America. Okay? It's not about these show-on shows that you see, you know. No. Got the fat shoes, fat gold. Very probably a little wallet pocket, but I mean, you know, it's all got to be in the presentation. Oppressed. No, our workers are the ones that are oppressed. And I've always said that, especially for the woman. But now, you know, we have a program out there that's being fought, and I'm all for it. I hope nobody stands in front of it. I want Washington to pass this. Equal rights to equal pay for the women and right now. And it should be. If you're doing an equal job, pay them the equal money. Bottom line. You know? Bottom line. That is equality of America. And that's how we will stop some of the narrative. But the truth of the matter is, it's always been that way, and it shouldn't have been, but it was, and it wasn't our fault. It wasn't our fault. No, it was the predecessors of the country prior who just had a different narrative of what they thought. And I don't agree with it. I never agree with it, you know. Stand strong for the ladies, gentlemen. You need to do this. You need to do it. And they deserve anything and more that they can get. They truly do. Especially if they are the essentials in your family. A lot of guys stay home, take care of the kids now. And I'm just saying. So I was kind of all over the place with this. But it doesn't matter. There are valid points in there. And I know you got them. You know, I'm not trying to be I'm just giving you a little of the gist of what I'm thinking here. That's all. All right. So we got banks closings. Check this part out. This will blow your mind. This will blow your mind. And this has been going on a long time as well. You know, if they don't see a safety deposit box have any check-ins like within a 2-year period, they like to make things their own. Or if you didn't pay for it, they like to break in it. Whatever's in it becomes theirs. Well, now with all these banks closing down, and I've seen some of them in my own neighborhoods here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Not a ton, but they are closing. If you had any money there, the branch closed, and they sent you out, they say they sent you out a formal letter that you must remove all your goods, and you never got it, which no one is getting it. It's because they want what you have in them. And it becomes property to them. That's the narrative that they're pushing, and that's a law that they're looking to start to enforce. So banks are closing without notices in many ways, and they want to keep your safety deposit boxes, and they'll decide what's important in it for themselves. The rest will get. Or maybe something will show up on a family member's doorstep, but who's to say? That is in the news, by the way. It truly is. So anyway, I like coming Monday through Friday in the mornings. It helps my summer schedule out. And I hope you're cool with that stuff. But it really does help my summer schedule out. And that's about 9:50 every morning, Monday through Thursday. And I like to do the Friday night segment. The Friday night segment is how I got blown off the air last night. And that's why I'm coming to you tonight on an upload live broadcast. I'm still live. I'm here. See, I'm breathing. Anyway, I'm Michael Anthony. This is 10 O'Clock Talks. I'm trying to get angry here. No, I am angry. I am. I'm just coming in a different way. It's a lot more easier to go and try to focus this way and just talk to people and relate to you guys out there with where we're at. I also want to talk about some false PSA levels and men. And that has to do, this is something new. If new isn't enough new, we have more new. And it has to do, again, with the Miracure, or what you want to call the hit, the jab, the Frankensteiner, part 1, part 2, just to try to be clear. Yes, that thing. So it's just not about prostate. It's also about mammograms. I done this, 4 months ago, 5 months ago, maybe. I don't know, but it was around there that, they don't want you because it will disrupt tests, and it does disrupt tests. Now, on the PSA levels, you get higher levels and whatnot, and they finding this to be very credible in people who have received. Same with the PSA. It also goes for the same with the mammogram. It does also have effects there, and you'll have to go back and have it done again. You have to wait so much time. But now the PSA levels in men, prostrate, blah, blah, that's the issue of what that is. And it can put a scare in you for no reason. False positives. Hey, don't we all hear about that now, right? Yeah, sure do. We sure do. Man, this thing's humming tonight, man. Who's bugging? Who's bugging? Some of the research groups that I work with, yeah, they're busy tonight. They sure are. And then you have down in Australia right now, man. I mean, they're screaming in their chambers, calling out the leadership down there, saying that they're QAnon conspirators, and they will not have it. Well, you got it. Evidently, he's won. He's seeing through this shit, and some of you people are still blind. But that's what's going on down in Australia. That's the narrative down there anyway. A lot of jumping and screaming. And hey, some new songs out there you got to check out too, man. That's really good going on, being released. I posted a couple in Taking Back America. The one with the eagle. I know there's a good many out there. But that's where I put my primaries, and I let the other admins take and share or whatever. And then we have the Global Army of Donald J. Trump. Be inventive and to give good names to things, to create motivation, which we all need. We all need motivation in a positive manner. Some strange noises coming from the outside in. So a little bit on the when I tell you about the back channels or the back doors, I want you to keep an open mind to some of that stuff out there, that there are back channels with much information. Are any of you guys familiar with that? Well, anyway, try to get yourself familiarized with that on the back channels. There's a lot of very important information out there that makes a big difference. I just joined. Okay, someone just joined the group. This is Michael Anthony. Okay, I don't know. There is more Michael Anthonys out there than just me, it seems. They're utilizing 10 o'clock talks. Keep your eyes on that part for me. Got to give everybody a fair shot. They could have the same name, right? Is what it is. But anyway, yeah. Anyway, let me give us a heart. This is for Sarah Bear. Hi, Sarah Bear. How are you? Sometimes they go through, sometimes they don't. I don't get it. Is it customizing? I don't know. I get lost on some of this internet tech stuff. I don't know what you guys get into all the way. Now, there's also some Twitter confessions that I brought up about January. And within the first week of January, you know where that problem was up in D.C., and there are actors coming now forward that were under some backdoor payroll plan through the LT, okay? LEFT, LT. All right, so anyway, yeah, on payrolls. They don't want to come completely out, but they are disclosing that they had involvement publicly. Maybe they'll get arrested. I don't know. Maybe they will. But they're saying publicly that they were paid to be there. And the one video I watched, the guy said, I got kind of bruised up really hard where I couldn't even achieve the goal the task that they asked him to complete for his payday and his part of what happened there in that first week of January. I'm being asked, do you want me to share? All right. I'd love for you to share it. And so you know you're live with me right now. Yes, you are. I'm talking to you live right in front of the world. Thank you, Sarah. Appreciate you. Please share. Anyway, yeah. So hey, you gotta talk to the peeps, right? The people. I'm theirs. They're mine. We're together. We're always one. We're one for all. We are America. We are Americans. We are strong. We are beautiful. We are brave, and we are not in any way gonna let down on what our narrative is. Lots of words here, but that's okay. I was going pretty good till I got to that one part, and then it was kind of like I choked a little bit, but that's all good. That's all good. Let's talk about something that's gonna blow your mind. I like to give something concrete every time I'm on. And I really do. If you stay with me for the time that I'm on, I do give out a goodie every now and then. And you're going to know why I use the goodie part. But we know about adrenochrome, right? Okay. What a lot of people don't realize is Google Chrome. Goo is adrenal. And then you have Chrome. It's true. Google Chrome, adrenochrome. How do I know that? Well, look up languages, look up words, and you'll find out the meanings. And it's true fact. And tied to some of this as well was what I was trying to talk about yesterday. It was like years ago when things like this started to come out publicly. It was done on shows, talk shows. The Ellen Show, reason why, wonder why she got canceled. All of a sudden, Oprah, kind of like missing, not really per se in the spotlight so much. She's there, but again, there are certain things that are happening. But believe it or not, they were pushing cosmetics that were tied to all this. And the worst case scenarios of what could be in these compounds and creams, and yes, that was part of the Hollywood let's get rich and so forth, So anyway, yeah, but look into what I just told you on the Google thing, the Google Chrome, the goo, adrenal. Sometimes my pronunciation is not 100% right, but anyway. Now, you talk about Epstein a little bit here because people brought it up. I didn't, but I saw it and I thought, okay, let's talk about it. What's going on with the island? Well, which one? There's like 12 of them. And then right next adjacent to that, you have Biden's island. They are all tied to each other in ways. Keep that in mind. And where are things going with the people and the 100-hour videos and so forth? Well, we do have one in prison right now. She's not liking where she's at. Just thought I'd bring that up. But it is true. It is true. Then you have NASCAR and Garskar. Maybe it's pronounced Narsar. Narsar. I'm not going to try to spell it. It has to do with money and change. And where we're at right now and what's going on. So if any of these words come up and they catch you, I want you to do some research on it because I think it'll help you guys. I really do. Now, the reason I bring that up is a couple other reasons of what's going on in the country and why Trump possibly way back at the beginning of this decided, I'm going to shut down all flights in from China. Do you remember that part when, the country was in a place of, not so good? We weren't. And a lot of things are going on. We were all lost in it, trying to figure it out, paying attention, of course, following the leader. And it seems that we find out now that, a lot of students could come and go and whatnot. They had special visas to come in and so forth. And what had happened with that was we found out that they weren't just students. They were actually spies of the Chinese military. Dong Jinwei was one of them. And now we're having people who have, they were like jumped the sides. and they're spilling a lot of information to, I guess, people of good that we're finding out of. If we're finding out about it, evidently there are some people still in these three-letter organizations that are so corrupt it's unbelievable. There's no doubt. They actually work for the deep state, the other side. They're not here for us. That's why the Capitol had the issues it had. Of course, they worked and narrated it without a doubt. They weren't going to help, but they were going to help its success. They were going to help the outcome as we're having it, you know. But with that happening, these students and so forth made it in before the deadline had occurred, and they got ratted out. And we know that we had people in here for whatever the narrative of that was. It's not been released, but we know it's factual. I believe Charlie Ward had some great information up on it. And, I can't think of Mike's last name. There's another fellow who does great podcasts with some really strong people where they use remote viewing and everything else to analyze some of the things that are going on. So they're like foreseers, intuitives and stuff. You know, people that wake up and just know like that, or can actually... Do you ever hear of the DMT trials and experiments? That was a project through the government where they would use hallucinogenics. And I talked about this before, and mind and thought and matter. And basically, you know, some people can just like astral project from their self. Their consciousness just separates with clarity, with extremely good clarity. And they can put themselves in places and find out much. And it's true. There are people who are like that. If you believe in people who are psychic in any way and have sat through any really good, legit psychics and got information and you were blown back by it, that's where I'm going with that. Anyway, so a lot gets confirmed in many different ways with many different issues as to how. But just know when Trump did that, it may not have been exactly, but it was to isolate a certain groups of people that were coming in prior to the date of the closure of no more people and flights allowed in from China. And everybody that needed to get to America came a-running, if you get what I'm saying. And it's all been exposed. But the leader of the gang was Dong John Wei. Dong, D-O-N-G, John Wei. And he worked with students on exchange programs and so forth, but they were actually older and spies. They get the baby faces, I guess, you know, with educations that fit the criteria. So, yeah, what did Trump stop there that no one even knows about? Then you have Texas clearing prisons to hold now for the new illegal immigrants, mules, coyotes, and more who are coming into the country and disrupting the border. Well, that's not going to happen very much longer. I mean, we know Trump's going to go and basically get into the faces down there of what's going on. And he's going to talk with Abbott, and they're going to check out and assess. And I know the world's waiting for that, as well as his campaign, re-kickstart of the mega, make it great again. And there should be a lot with that to come out, and I'm sure he'll probably wait to give any really great informative information till that point. Although, however, I'm sure if anybody like Hannity or Tucker or anybody that knows how to get to the press is going to get to the press and say, hey, look, you know, come on, give us a phone call, talk to me for a minute. They're going to try. They're going to try to work them for some info. I know that. I would do the same thing. I'd be like, yo, Prez, get on the phone to me now, man. I need to talk to you. You know? I think he'd like me. I don't know. I think I'm kind of likable. You know, certain ways. I mean, something likable about Mike. A few people watch me and stuff. But anyway, it's all good. It's all good. All right. Let me try to see where I was and where I got killed yesterday, because that's kind of in the way that I'm going here. All right. And I think I'm on it because I know where I was, and I'm not going to use the 3-letter term tonight, because they might find it out. I'm going to do this in reverse when I come to this part here. And I was talking about, you know, what had happened up at the Cap on that day, first week in January. And let's just say that this enforcement agency in reverse was the IBF. And what the narrative of push was, because they knew days in advance that there were threats. And they were, in my mind, the IBF were part of the threat in the implants with the law enforcement of the CAP. So, they had those with those put together, and the insurrection and the issues that had occurred and the narrative of the people paid, who now are coming forth on Twitter and even admitting it. Videos that I still have in my possession that shows people getting changed from MAGA into Antifa. It's right in blatant sight, right in plain sight. I mean, I had them, I've exposed them before. I can put them back up again, or somebody says, hey, share that. I still have them. I can still share that. But yeah, keeping that in mind, we're learning more now in the reports that everybody was named not by name, but by numbers, So that's how do you follow? And here we have the senators up there saying, what the is going on here? It looks like there's involvement by the IBF in reverse. Remember, okay? I have to do it that way right now, I think. And it's probably smarter that I do. But you better bet your sweet ass that they were involved. You better bet your sweet ass they were involved. Putin's not bringing up all these little hints as if, we're blind. He's doing it in support of the American people as to what truly happened here. And because him and Trump have great leadership skills together, and we're putting the whole globe of the economics of the world together in many ways for many people. They were getting away from the rural ideology of wars, of becoming united as nations together who work together, and a survival mechanism to keep good potential growth and normalities of morals. And I'm not saying we don't have indifferences, but never forget the fact that Russia has been by our sides in times of need. Look in the real history. Yes, Donna is speaking. Okay. I keep getting these little things, but that's okay. I don't even have to look at them. And these aren't the things that actually sometimes make me unfocus where I'm at. But yeah, so with all these things coming up, but now what's the main thing that's important here is they don't want to use any of the police officers' names. They're calling the actors of the police involved and what their actions were by numbers only, without naming any of the parties, of who the parties were, and whether they were IBFs or they were part of the CAP's enforcements that were there in place, that were there but weren't there, some that were just watching, some that did nothing. It makes you really wonder. But, okay, now the Senate, they want to know, they want answers to this, and they should have answers to it. Let's see how the Republican Party stands up and voices this and where it goes on that part. But remember, when you name people not by names but by numbers, and that's why the other day I said, who was this guy that shot him? It's because it's so hard to get the information because of how they're holding it back on us. And you have to just wonder where we are in America. But again, we're in a war against our own government. And there is just no doubt about that. No doubt about that. But it does still make you wonder, who really truly did shoot? Who really did shoot? I mean, was it the name that we were given? I don't know, and I don't want to say a lot on names. I don't want to get, they might not allow the video to be uploaded, so I'm just going to keep it that way. But there's a lot to say about that. And should there be criminal charges? Well, they're saying he won't be charged. They're saying he won't be charged. We do know who he is. They have identified him. If this is the man that actually made the shot, was it? It looks like he did and whatnot from what we've seen. But we've seen a lot of things up there that contradict a lot of things. And I know you've watched these videos with me. I know we all have done this together. And I just want to reflect back a little bit here about the planes done and the 10 days of darkness and the things. And I hope you're thinking healthy. Buying things in the event, okay? Don't pressure yourself. Don't get freaked out here. I'm not sending out a warning. No, you always have the right to choose, do your own research. You come up with things, but there are things out there, and I know we are in the time that has been most preached through the 1-7 and so forth, okay? And it's better to be safe and sorry on the water. items of foods that will last. Canned goods, peanut butter is always great. It's fattening, but it's good protein. Cans of tuna, things that you can think logical, right? But you may want to do this. You may want to think about how and what you use in your freezer first, things like this, if this would become a potential long-term, more than a 72-hour event, because once you get beyond 72 hours, you are going to have food changes and things, and you're going to have to think to cook ahead, and can I leave it sit out if I make it, things like that. And that's the truth. You really will. Are you going to be able to get bagged ice, and how long will that work? Will you be able to get dry ice? How long will that work? Weigh all the things. If you have a generator, make sure you have fuel on hand. If you need gas for your car or an emergency, make sure you have an extra 5 gallons sitting aside if you can afford to do that. If you have a can, don't be a lazy ass. Do it just in case. You'll always be able to use it. Everything that I'm suggesting to you is money well spent, because it will be something, even if this doesn't occur in this time frame now, which has been pretty much led us to believe that the occurrence of something strong in the next 30 days is upon us, okay? Keep that there. Worry about water supplies. Worry about power grids. That's the blackout. That's the blackout. And if I come to you with no picture, it's because I'm telling you now, if I come to you with no picture, that means you probably have 48 to 72 hours to prepare. So if you start seeing me in black and all you hear is my voice, it's because the people who I rely on gave me something that concrete. I can't always give concrete out if I don't have it, but I can tell you this. If I come to you in black, if I do, and I think other people will follow me on this, the podcasters who are smart, who we are all in touch with on a different basis of how we get information and who they share with, and I share to them what I can. If we're in black, then you know it's about there. It's about there. Right now, I don't see it. I don't. I'm being honest. So it gives you plenty of time. Get 10 cases of water, man. Go. And I know in some cases these things can be expensive and you can't just do all this at once. But think logically of what's already in your cupboards and so forth, and how you're going to keep yourself clean, whether you pour some water on a rag and just wipe your... You still got to be smart. It's important. Think of the things that are going to be most logical for you to have and that you'll be able to use in the future, okay? Maybe Trump will be able to turn this around in a different way. Maybe something different will happen. But right now, the way the layout is, the way it's been told, the way the drops have been made, it's very, very possible the worst will be in front of us and soon to come. Please, please, please have yourself ready and prepared. Only do it in the ways where it makes sense to you, where it is always useful to you. It was never a waste of your dollar. Keep that logic in mind. Please keep that logic in mind. All right, where am I? Oh, I told you a little bit yesterday about the bombing that occurred. I meant to look up on this and I forgot. I apologize. But we did have a military base that was attacked, and I know it was somewhere else. Damn, I'm mad at myself on this one. But there was 2 actors involved. There was 36 military people hurt, and that attempt to disrupt this military base and cause the devastation that it did. And it was pretty damn devastating. It truly was a big bomb. Okay? And then again, don't forget about Russia not playing on the waters. Just saying, there's a lot of things in place right now. A lot of things that were said that would happen, or they're coming into light. Was 1-7 right? Is the possibility? Maybe he or she was. Get where I'm coming from? Okay, because you think you know everything until I just said that, right? He or she. All right, keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. All right, so the resets. This is important because I was talking a little earlier about crops and foods and gardens and different things. But now they're getting ready for the next part of the plan where they're actually going to start to make the skies look still being treated, still being cloaked, but only in color. Now, they can do colors if you went and you watched all the aerial flights of the blue nights and so forth. I mean, that's who we have up here. I think they're called, that come out 4th of July and on holidays. And you see the sprays that they leave behind, red, white, and blue lines and stuff. There's your colors right there. They can do it. Now, you intermix those colors with these other compounds, the barium, the strontium, the aluminum, and nanoparticles and everything else. And yes, they are using nanoparticles and these very small metal fragments, because if you go and look on your car, and you can collect them, they're falling from the sky. And yeah, it's a shame, because that's what our food resources all reflect from everything that falls from the sky. Does it not? Anyway, yeah, keep that all in mind as well. Keep that all in mind. Law requirements say no. You can say no to your HIPAA rights, and you don't have to be forced into anything. But yet they're still trying to push the narrative. That was part of yesterday. Keep that in mind. You always have the right to say no. You don't have to have social anxiety and social fears over these motherfuckers pushing shit like that in your face. You say no to it. Stand strong. Look, more today even came out on the PSA levels for men. Think about this. We're just at the beginning of these trial periods. And we do know that there were a couple people up at the FDA who are not for this and who are doing very good work. I'll drop a little bit on that on you guys, probably Monday or Tuesday morning. But no, they're really looking into this. And remember, with what they're doing right now and finding out with the rats and so forth, does not always even mean it's going to be safe for a human. There is still a major difference between scientific evaluations on animals versus a human. That is always going to freaking exist. Yes, does it help? Does it collaborate with a lot of things? In ways, yes. We'll leave that up to the people with the knowledge to do that. But again, we are where we are with those things, okay? The roots and colors and cultures. I want to go over that one last time with you guys as one nation under God. And we're no longer of all that. We may look different, you know? We may have different hair. May have different colors of skin. But I think we're finally at the point now where, it doesn't matter where you came from. And you didn't come from there. You were born here. To me, your bloodline started here. Your everything began, you're an American. Okay? You're an American, bottom line. All of us the same. And if we live that ideology, it will stand up to them, and it'll just make them look like the hypocrites that they are, and it'll push them back, and you'll be standing in their face. We can live with a lot of things, except for the fact that they're painting the streets rainbows now. Yes, fairy tale cities and rainbows. Infrastructure, mind you. Infrastructure money. And the boys down south were eating them up, bleaching their tires, and they were revving up, and yeah. They did a good job. They left a lot of rubber all over the paint jobs. But anyway, or maybe it was in the asphalt color. I don't know. They may want this to last a long time. Maybe it was somehow powder coated with good durable paint. I mean, there are products out there that would work, Are they safe for the Green Deal, for the atmosphere? They're not going to tell us. But as long as the streets are of rainbow, I mean, it's a fairy tale. You would expect to see something like this at Disneyland, right? But no, it's going to be parts of the streets and part of this, the race card, and part of the gay card, and part of the transgender card, and really rainbows in the freaking streets. Okay, but anyway, yeah. And you heard me on that yesterday before I got cut. So, that said, happy Saturday, huh? Yeah, happy Saturday. I don't remember what all I started even out on yesterday, to be honest with you. Could have been the 1010 tweets from Hillary and what happened there with Aberdeen. Hillary's sidekick and the White Hats actually, I think, have control over some of the pages of some of the people. You may actually be seeing where who you think are putting out tweets that may not make any sense are actually the White Hats, the push of the strong and the strength of Trump and our side, the good side, actually now utilizing their informations to leave message trails. June 10th at 10 a.m. 10? I've given you so much. I really have. One day I'll tell you why, but it doesn't matter right now. 10. Get it? June 10th, 10 a.m. Yeah. Aberdeen tweets. Check that out. There's some really good information there. If you follow information. If you don't, you may be just as much as lost, then that could be true. And then I was talking, I think a little bit, it could have been about where we were with Jacob Greenberg, Rockefeller's grandson, who just happens to be Mark Zuckerberg. Nobody came back at me and said I was lying. I'll say it again for you. Jacob Greenberg, David Rockefeller's grandson. Some say hello to Mark Zuckerberg, okay? Zuckerberg, Fuckerberg, you know, the bird guy. Anyway, I got through this. And there was no glitches, so let's hope that the upload works the same way. I'd like to ask you all for questions if I could, but I can't because this is a live segment of the show that is going to have to be uploaded. But let's see if I have anything else here, and if I can, I'll comment back, because if I can mention people, I think it's really cool to say hi to people. I'm going to say hi to Mary Kay. Dory, girl, you're a survivor. You can get through this. Be strong. All right, I'm by your side even though I'm not there. You have prayers. I know you don't want them. You're stubborn, but you're getting them anyway. Mary Kay, keep on her. Keep her strong. Rocco, brother, what's going on? I want to say hi to Mary Beth again. Tracy. Tracy doesn't like when you talk about her because she has a work issue. Isn't that a shame? You know, what they're doing to people, if they have even went to a Trump rally, they want nothing to do with them working in there. Yeah. What is that? What is it? Come on, that's worse than the race card, right? I mean, your rights to freedom and the activities that you choose, but yet you go to work, you're a rock star, you make the money, no longer useful to them, though. Interesting facts and things and narratives that we live in this world, right? Sarah Bear, thanks for your information and what you did. And Donna Hawkins also for sharing. I appreciate you very much. James, what's going on, brother? And hey, I got to say hi to Mike. What's going on, Mike, up at Innovative Motors? And he's on, and we have Salon Atmosphere on. Lindsay's on. Hello, Lindsay. How are you? Hope you're doing well. I do designs by Eva, everything by Eva. Rockstar girl there. Big numbers. A lot of people look at her. She can make anything from anything when it comes to like wedding gowns and all kind of crazy stuff. I mean, anything. It could be Halloween. It doesn't matter. If you go to her and you want to hire her for a job, and she works with everybody. You know, she's very fair. Check her out. All right. Laura Knox, how are you? Linda Brooks White, how are you? Kimberly Ann, I see you're on. How are you? Hope you're at work and everything's going well. Make the money, girl. Make the money. Randy Rhodes. Randy's on. Pamela Borton's on. Renee Jones is on. Jack Alexander's on. Wolf Michaels is on. Trump 2020. I wonder who made that group up. I'm telling you, man. I'm affiliated with so many different funny things. I didn't do that, though. That wasn't me. I didn't do that. It's a friend who did that. But I support them. I support them well. Yeah, so anyway, I'm in Pittsburgh today, back in the studio. And like I said, with everything that failed yesterday, I thought I'd do this tonight this way. Stay strong, people. For real. Oh, I got a heart from Angie. Oh, she likes the song by Glenn Baker, No New Normal. I don't know if any of you guys know this, but what they do, if you add anything to it and they can identify it, they'll cut your video. So as bad as I want to play this right now, because this song really rocks, talks about everything about today. So if you go on Taking Back America or my own page or anything, Michael Anthony, look at that song, check it, share it, get it out there. It's a rocker, man. It really is. There's only a few songs out there that make me really feel like, you know, a motivational thing where a song just you can connect in. This is that song. And what a great job he did. All of them, I'm sure all his musicians with him, whoever was all involved here, hats off to you guys. Great song, great comfort. Keep doing it, man. Michael Evans, how you doing? April, Dead Lady Red, in the Atlanta area dining. Good for you, girl. Good for you. Sarah Farais, she's on tonight. These are just some of my friends. Anyway, to come in, share, and whatnot. Please, if you can, do that for me. Get the message out there to the world. A little bit of what I went through on the currents. If I didn't give you enough anger today, that's okay. I didn't want to come in and get myself all. Mark Jones, thanks for your acceptance there. I appreciate it. I had to ask this guy for friendship just because I was digging his picture. It was all about his picture, man. You know, what he had posted there. It's just the right vibe. You know, if I feel the vibe, boom, click, add him. Anyway, yeah, so check us out. And if you're looking for a group to join, if you don't know who we are, who I am Michael Anthony, administrator of many groups, friends with a lot of the administrators. And one day I would like for us all to gather and congregate as one together because we are all for one and one for all. And wow, where would that put us? Hundreds of thousands of people all under one roof. Ooh, Facebook would have a hard time checking us out then. Nah, I don't know. They probably have their ways, but that's all right. So I hope you guys have a great night. We're around 6:52 in Pittsburgh, PA, in the evening. Let me just see if there's anything last here. Like I said, I just love mentioning people, you know, if I can, just to let them know I'm thinking about them, because I do. This is why I do what I do, is what I can bring to you. I also want to tell you, I have had, I don't know, hundreds of hours of videos that you can look through, and we still have probably in the archives that we found to upload even to YouTube, another at least probably 100 hours on things of early narratives, opinions, and suggestions that I've made, and talks and interactions, in some ways live and not. Check them out. Check them out. Go on there and subscribe to 10 O'Clock Talks. And if you want to hit me up direct, you can do that through 10o'clocktalks@gmail.com. Don't forget that. You can get me under Michael Anthony right here on Facebook, if that came out of my mouth right. Yeah, anyway, I am Michael Anthony. There's a couple of us out there, but I am Michael Anthony. Also, I was invited to a couple shows tonight. Midnight Edition was one, and the Boogie with the Bull at 11. Couple interesting invites. So maybe I'll go live tonight on those guys here. It seems their platforms don't get shaken as much as mine does. Let's hope for the best and keep fighting in this war together, people. I'll be back on Monday morning.
Stop clicking around, because I need to show.
That's just me flipping here, man. The voice flipped. Voice flips. No, I think I got it all. I said hi to everybody that was on and whatnot. Soon you'll be seeing this. I'm thinking about you. You guys have a great night. Remember, don't judge me. I won't judge you. I'm Michael Anthony, 10 O'Clock Talks. I'll see you Monday morning at 9:50 a.m. Be here. Bring the coffee.